I visited the Los Angeles County Museum of Art for the first time, and I immediately looked for 19th and 20th century paintings. I'm most familiar with the work of Frida Kahlo as a Mexican who grew up seeing her work in my culture. So when I saw one of her self-portraits at the Los Angeles County Museum, I knew I had to research it. This self-portrait was Self-Portrait with Curly Hair from 1935, a painting of hers I've never seen before, but I'm glad I got the chance to see in person. This is the painting I will use to represent 20th century art. For 19th century art, I was drawn towards a painting called The Swineherd by Paul Gauguin. Again, I had never seen this painting before, or have studied or heard of the artist behind the painting. I looked at them for a long time each, and gave myself time to process them. Like with every painting, it is subjective, and can produce several different reactions and responses. I can only speak on what I took away as a viewer. Starting off with Frida Kahlo's work, Self-Portrait with Curly Hair, presenting Kahlo behind a solid light blue, almost muted white background. This color is used again in her earrings, and again hints of this color in her mostly green necklace. Kahlo's head is titled facing the left and is wearing a very neutral expression on her face. A kind of expression where you could argue that it is one of sadness or happiness. The element that is most eye-catching is Kahlo's brown, short, curly haircut. A hairstyle that, to my knowledge, has rarely been seen on Kahlo, as her hair is usually made into a type of braid or hair bun. It's clear that the sudden and drastic hair change symbolizes a deeply personal period within her life. Under this painting's page on Frida Kahlo's own website, it's revealed that, in Self-Portrait with Curly Hair, Frida portrays herself with short curly hair, most likely despite Diego, who was very fond of her long flowing hair. Frida Kahlo website. The short hair Kahlo paints herself with is used as a direct attack of defiance towards her cheating ex. The short hair changes Kahlo's appearance, and this could also be a way of moving away from an image her husband is familiar with and towards an image that is her own. Christie's Frida Kahlo, Mexican 1910-1954. Out of association with Diego, and out of needing something new and completely different to be able to move on. This website also provided some more background on the painting representing Kahlo's desperation and loneliness with the separation from Diego. Frida Kahlo website. A new self-portrait by Kahlo at such a difficult time, I can imagine must have worked like a form of therapy for her. On a more technical note, Kahlo uses for the most part thin line work to bring this painting to life. And as for the color palette, there is a mix of bright and muted colors used. This mix of colors allows the painting to look both somber and vibrant at the same time. There are no other Frida Kahlo-esque elements present. This is perhaps the most bare and minimalist of Kahlo's paintings I've seen. This could be because of her depressive state, or also to further highlight her short, curly brown hair. As a result of the line work, colors, and bare style, the painting comes across as a slender, magnetic, and mysterious masterpiece. Now, for 19th century art at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, I chose to look at the Swineherd, Brittany, from the year 1888, which belongs to the post-impressionism movement. It first grabbed my attention because of the lack of sharp detail there is in the painting. It forces the viewer's eyes to focus and analyze deeper than one normally would. This effect is thanks to the oil and thickness of the color used to make the painting. There are several subjects, such as the swineherd and the swine and a horse. None of the subjects have any faces or extreme details to their character. What I thought this painting was at first glance was a collection of shapes and colors, which essentially isn't far off from the truth. The painting is very heavy with colors and shapes. It is almost overwhelming to look at, while also having a very playful and cartoony style and feeling. Surprisingly, the colors used by Gauguin aren't overly bright or dim, but just inviting enough to achieve a compelling effect. The painting depicts a typical countryside town landscape in the background, and the subjects I mentioned before in the foreground. What stood out to me in the foreground was the color the swine were colored in. The swine are colored gold, which could be a sign of the value they have for the swineherd. Then the swineherd is shown far away from the countryside and pondering off into the distance. There can be many interpretations for this, but I agree the most with one given in an article from Archive, which states, "The juxtaposition of natural and human elements, along with Gauguin's unique stylistic approaches, contributes to the viewer's contemplation of a way of life intimately connected to the land, and the rhythms of nature. Archive. Land and nature play a crucial role in this painting, as both take up the most space within the frame. The overwhelming color and weight the land and nature have can give the impression that they worry the swineherd in one form or another. Although the vast high hills and rocky terrain, when combined with this open natural environment, also imbued a rural appeal, which makes the painting easy on the eyes. Gauguin very much uses implied or very thin lines, as large parts of the painting are in one solid color. There is definitely a reliance on form and style over detail, which is a staple of post-impressionism and makes this painting one to remember. Thank you all for listening to my presentation of these two paintings from the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. This concludes my student art critic video.